We would like to continue. So I would like to introduce Laura Greenham from our team in Perth and Vasilisa Suborova from our team in Germany. They will be now covering the Hinton tips, and that's a regular presentation that we usually offer, and that's based on our experience. We are building skills in our team, but also working with customers and the feedback that we're getting with the customers when they are upgrading. So I hope that is useful for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. As Gonzalo has said, we're about to present the hints and tips. Quick agenda, only 5 items. Ordering. If you wish to move from ZVSE to VSEn, once all the marketing job has been done by the two Gonzalos, way above my pay grade. Once you've organised all of that and you're into the purchasing stage, you'll be given access to box folders. And you have in the box, before that, so you have to sign those documents. A non-disclosure agreement. And there are 2 of those. You'll receive notifications from 2 people whether or not you are inside the US or outside the US. Inside the US, it will come from sorry, I can't switch in both places. And otherwise, it will come from Tiffany. You'll then receive a box folder, and there are several folders in that box folder. There'll be the product code, documentation, as well as a place where you can download and upload stuff from VSE, dumps and things, or support level. And there will also be a folder for your SCRT reporting information. One of those folders is titled documentation, and in it will be all available manuals at the time, the PDFs, READMEs, and connected documentation. They can be individually downloaded from the box folder, but that's quite clumsy and not very efficient. So we have provided you with a PDF catalogue, indexed. This is how you access that catalogue. PDF catalogue is, as suggested, a collection of manuals which has an index file to them as well. Sorry, clicking the wrong thing. There you go. It is faster and more efficient. You can search for keywords. And in our case, all available product manuals and the README files are in that index. So we have the individual PDFs in your box folder, and we have the catalogue, the whole collection in the catalogue, which is indexed. So when you get in back to box, in your documentation, it will be titled Adobe Acrobat Index with a date. That is the date that the collection was indexed. As we make more manuals available, or we update the manuals, we will give you a new version in your box folder. You download that folder and unzip it. That results in a folder with all the available PDFs and the README files. At this point, then you can read the individual manuals from that folder now on your PC. Still, so it's easy to read, but still not very efficient in terms of searching. The index is in the PDX file. So if you open the PDX file, the results are displayed for each document in a collapsible format, and opening up the chapter where you can easily decide which manual you want which to read. The results can also be filtered to narrow down your search. This is the hints part, where we've put together information that other customers have asked about or found problems with. So this is where we give you advice on how you may make your process easier. If you plan to install VSE, the VSE product is provided as an AWS tape image format. How to use the tape and the process, the FSU process, is described in the document. But you can also perform the FSU directly from the tape image if you've got virtual tapes enabled. But it's also possible to copy the tape onto a real tape using virtual tape, or copy the tape into a VSEn space. The skeleton in ICCF Library 99 will show you how to define the VSEn space, and then you can use either tape-to-tape function of SMDMU, or use the FTP, LFP, or the host transfer, PCOM host transfer. If you're going to use LFP or FTP, remember to put the variable record length in. The record length has to be 32758. Otherwise, the format that arrives is not workable for the FSU. You're questioning that?
Just an odd number?
Yeah, that's,
32,
sorry, yeah.
758, it's like two.
It's not a particular
I think
alignment,
that's
is it?
Maximum, it's just max.
It's
But it has to be
2 bytes.
variable, though. It's a key.
It's 2 bytes higher than I would have expected.
Okay. Have I misspelled it?
It's not a K valid K number. It's not even K.
It's not a valid alignment. It doesn't align in a 4K boundary, you're saying?
Right.
Okay. That will be checked.
Sorry
That will
about
be
I
taken
just-
away for homework.
It just stood out, that's all.
Yeah, okay. All right. Where am I? I'm in the wrong spot, sorry. The preparation step is important, and please take time to make sure this step completes successfully before diving into the FSU process itself. Perform backups of relevant data, system libraries, which will be updated by the FSU process, and also any customised procedures that you may have, either in pod2.save or pod2.config. Also ensure that the backup can be restored, and it's in a usable format, practical format. It's no good if you want just one JCL POC and you have to restore the whole volume just for that one file. 21CS's VCDD no longer requires the VTAM code customer number that VTAM used to. So if your JCL procedure includes that, just remove the parameter. If you're using either of 21CS's TCP/IP products, you will require new keys from 21CS. This also applies for when testing your disaster recovery, you need the CPU ID. Simple question of asking us an email to the support team, and we will provide you with keys for that.
So TCP/IP for VSE comes with distribution?
Yes, yes it does.
And that's the
Yes.
CSI version, or that's both?
But both, we have both. One is we have two product libraries, pod2.tcp/IP-B and TCP/IP-C. One for each product are kept separate.
But they're licensed via 21st Century. If you license it directly from CSI or BSI, those are different animals, so to speak.
And if that's the case, you need to get the keys from CSI, not from us.
Do you need to get the code from them too?
Well, the code should still work for you. If you have it directly from them, the code should still work.
The code that we have directly from?
Yes, sir. Right out of your box.
And support, therefore, is provided by them and not by us.
Right. Oh, yeah, I got it.
I'm not sure, because there's some special things that, I'm not sure if you can run the code delivered with a key directly from the vendor. That won't work. There was a restriction put in. So your key, if you get the key from the vendor, you got to get the software from the vendor. If you get the key from 21st Century, then you can run what's delivered.
Yes, sir.
You can't mix them anymore.
Here, the important point is that if you have the keys, if you have the keys from IBM
TCP/IP or IDN IPv6 VSE, those keys, when you do the upgrade, won't work anymore with 21CS, and you need new keys. From from the provider of that license, either 21CS or CSI and DSI direct.
Thank you. Okay.
If you previously provided SCR2 data to IBM, the process should be the same. FSU process does not change any of that, but you will have to make sure that you submit the SCR report to 21CS instead, and a box folder is provided for that. And you have to confirm after FSU process has been done that it starts automatically as part of your JCL IPL process.
Is that required if you are only using cell capacity licensing?
Yes, it is.
Full capacity is not a requirement?
Yes,
Only for some.
because we need the reports to determine the
Cell
charging
capacity
level.
part, but
Yeah,
we're-
yeah.
we're
If you're
full,
full,
then
it's-
no
There-
problem.
there's
Okay.
no variables.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Also, as part of the FSU process, when the FSU has been installed, stage 2 of the FSU process starts the basic kicks up, or ALTEP, a basic OLTP. That kick session does not use any external securities. So if you happen to have sysESM in your IPL POC, please remove it, because it will cause problems when you're doing stage 2. That can be done using RUI or updating it, cataloguing it back into the libraries, IJSysFS or prod2.save. And our friends at Broadcom have given us, provided 2 APAs that you need to run for VSEn, and they are provided then for the TSS common component.
Excuse me, if you go back to that.
Right, sure?
Those are for common components. Are those common components related to top secret?
Yes, they
Common
are.
components within the suite of things that you have to have, like CIS, which is what I see is commented on the second one.
No, that's only for their top secret product.
Okay.
SDMSU, which I still can't get my tongue around, initially was provided an optional product when we first went GA. Since then, and that was in pod2.pod as part of that install. Since then, it's now become part of the base, and therefore it's installed in pod1.base. So the JCL to delete that product has been provided to you as well. And that is in a member called, what is it called?
DIT del
I can't say it.
v.a.
Yes, fine. Yeah. Delete del v.a, as in ditto delete. And it's an .a file. You don't need to remove the ID from the MSHP history file, because oh heaven's sakes, the FSU process will remove the component ID from the MSHP system history file. That was hard to say. VSEn 6.3.1 also includes all the RSLs up to that point. You will, of course, have to, if you upgrade to 3.1, you will then have to get any PTFs made available after 3.1 was released. I will now hand over to my learned friend to discuss the service aspects.
Thank you. I will continue with the PDF service, ourselves, and all related things. So first is where you can find all this. So all the service we do, we provide that through our box folder. Every customer will have a folder named 21CS VSEn Stack API PTF ourselves for customer name. And here you will find all the service that is available for like today, for the current date. There is an here RSL folder. When we put all the RSLs, I think I will mention that later, and all the individual PTFs. If you want to do that, or if something that you need is available after the latest RSL, you can still apply them individually. So in RSL folder, now we have 3 RSLs. The latest one is from April. And in RSL folder, in that April folder, they're going to be 4 directories with different RSLs, one for the base, which is the VSEn base products, one for the optional product, one for HLSM, and one for TCP/IP. I will cover later why HLSM is separate. Yeah, all the individual APAR folders has normally 3 files. One is the text file, is an APAR description, a problem description with the resolution that we are providing. PTF file itself is a binary file that's going to be applied to a system, and MD5 file just to check consistency in case something goes wrong in transfer or copy-paste issues or something like that. It's here. In addition to that, we provide the spreadsheet describing all the changes, all the APARs, RSLs, PTFs, it's all there. All the information is current. There is an APAR number, PTF number. In case our APAR address the IBM provided APAR, which was the case, I think, before last September. Sometimes when IBM introduced some fix for their 6.2 version, we had to do the same for our version. So some of those APAR address their APARs, which is not the case anymore. Problem description, available dates, information about supersedes, and yeah, all these things is in this spreadsheet. So back to RSLs. RSLs, as I guess you know, it's a recommended service level. It's a cumulative service that we provide to help you to keep your system up to date. So all the APARs or PTFs rather are bulked together in one package called RSL. We try to release this every 6 months, approximately. It's for you to simplify your service. So again, I mentioned already 4 RSLs are available in the box in folder from April. Base is number 3, optional has number 2, just because since last RSL there were no changes to optional products. So we just keep it the same. In case you applied that one that we had from, I think, October last year, you don't need to apply that. TCP/IP and HLSM also there. So there are different ways how you can apply service to a system. You can use a real tape in case you have it. You can use a tape server and mount our RSL as a virtual tape. You can use, you can transfer also the binary to VSAM and use this VSAM as a virtual tape. And you can you can transfer that to your DASD into ptf.file using FTP, and be careful here, the format is different than from the AWS file that was before. All the PTFs files should, or RSL, which is in this context is the same, should be fixed block and record length 80. All those details are still in our upgrade and service manual with lots of examples. We're trying to keep everything up to date and current, so please visit if you have some questions regarding that. And since we are on VM workshop, I need to mention that please do not apply any service through submitting them from your VM guest, because it can cause issues. One of them we face time to time when you do that. iBooks members can be erroneously cataloged into the system libraries, and that causes problems during PTF application on stage 5. So just in case you need it occasionally, you can, to recover from that, you can remove all those iBooks from there, and please use either virtual tape or real tape or VSEn on Dust to apply a service. Yeah. Moving on. I already mentioned that we keep HLS and PTF separately, and I can now explain why we do that. The thing is that at some point there was an issue introduced to this service process, and it causing indirect HLS and PTF's installation to fail with the program check. It was revealed when one of the customers also piled a couple of PTFs together in one so-called RSL in order to apply it in one run instead of doing like 5 or 6 times. And when you stack PTF together, if at least one of them marked as indirect to be applied indirectly, then a whole bunch of them will be applied indirectly. And that's what happens. And in this case, applying HLS and PTFs indirectly caused this program check. That is fixed in our PTF 94 or APAR 102. So once you have this on your system, after that, all HLS and PTFs can go together with all other PTFs with no problems. Directly and indirectly, it's fixed. But for those people who may not have that applied on their system, we still keep HLS as a separate RSL to be 100% sure that it will be applied directly, not causing that issue. Okay, moving on. And yeah, that's just an information regarding how to recover it. That person who hit that issue, that our recommendation that we provide him to be able to recover from indirect PTF application. So in order to do that, you need to release DTR PTF AB job that will finish all the work and allow you to start recovery. Then you reply reset to the question in the console, and after that you start the next step after the aband. So the abanding job on the previous slide was DTR PTF 05. In order to skip that and continue and finish the process, we release DTR PTF 06, and that completes the processing. And after that, we can shut down and re-APL from syswork 1 since it was indirect. Then we do no merge to discard all the changes that were done during PTF installation, and then normal APL will just bring the system back to its original state. Moving on. And then when you restart PTF installation, normally through IOI, you can go to the Apply PTF menu, and there are options to include or exclude some PTFs that you want to apply. If you have a huge RSL with a different thing in that, you can still pick up some stuff if you need to. So first, so back to the issue with HLSM PTF stacked with others, we recommended to first apply only HLSM PTFs directly, and then apply everything without excluding HLS and PTF as indirectly, and that helped to overcome that issue. But now we have a fix, so not a problem anymore once it's applied. So as I mentioned, we doing RSLs every 6 months or approximately 6 months, but still we are working on reproducing fixes. We're doing some useful things, so still there can be a bunch of PTF that you may need to apply since the last RSL. You still have an option to do that, to combine them together. Just make sure, if you do that, make sure that all the prerequisites and co-requisites are included. And as I mentioned already, please do not apply HLSM stuff indirectly unless you have this fix. Here are the couple of examples how we can do that, your own PTF collection file or your own RSL with VM or on Windows if you prefer. So with VM, you just download everything from box, transfer that to VM with a binary fixed 80 format. Then you can, the easiest way to do this is to do the copy file command with the append option. Once you do that, here are a couple of examples. You create a new file and then you append it with all the PTFs. Simple thing to do relatively fast. You just enter one command, then equal signs to copy, to repeat that, and it will create the collection file for you. It might be even easier if all the PTFs files are in one on one mini disk on VM or in one SFS directory. Just copy file asterisk command with append will do this for you. If you're more advanced user, of course, you can write a reg script to do that for you using pipelines. It's all up to you, but please make sure all the prerequisite stuff is. It is important to have to be sure that all the corrects and prereqs are there. Moving on. For Windows users, just in case, we also have an example of how excuse me, how you can do that on Windows through command line. This time command will do that magic for you too. So type, then you list the files you're gonna bug together, and then these magic arrows, new file name, and then it's done. So in case you having some issues or we're asking you to provide some information, there are folders in box for that. I think Laura mentioned that already, but here they are. So all the things, all the debug data that we may ask or you may have for us, like dumps, logs, all the stuff goes through, should go to that folder, and it would be good if you can create for us as a folder with like issue name. It will help us to reach the files quickly. And just in case we have something for you, for example, some test PTF to like with debug output or to test our fix or something like that, it will go to the support data folder. Okay, that was it for the service part, and I will continue to talk a little bit about power. Okay. In case your system has a lot of batch workload, you may face with different situation regarding power files. And I will just quickly overview how you can handle that. So there are three files in the Power related to Power. One of them is a data file. Data file stores all the information that goes to the Power queues. So in case it's full, you will get this message that no DASI space is available. And if you just get it once, no problem. You can just clean up some logs, and that's it. Clean up some output that you don't need anymore, and that's it. But if you are seeing that message quite often, you may consider to increase the size of this file. So how to do that? First of all, regarding Power, there is a useful command called pdisplayQ that will display all the characteristics of those three files that I will mention later. So
Easier just delete all the programmer stuff.
that's an option that I mentioned. not in that wording, but yeah. So yeah, all the information about those three files will be displayed if you enter pdisplayQ, and how if you're considering expanding that data file, you should go to ijsys-rs.syslib and to std-label-proc. By default, here is the definition that we have by default there. It's just one extent, not too big. So to expand this file, you can just add up to 32 extents to this IJD file, and it will be expanded. So, as I mentioned, if you need to clean up some stuff, you can just pdelete files from queues, and we have also a special command pdisplayBiggest that will help you to find the better candidate to be deleted first. So yeah, once you update extents, make sure you not overwrite some data. And VIPL, Power will notice that you change the extent definition. It will, at IPL time, it will ask you, do you want to format this new extent that it detected? You will like, of course, yes, I want. And it's done. So, the new display will show you somewhere here. Now you have two extents for the data file.
Is the original allocations the same as they were on the previous releases, or increased?
Yeah, we didn't change it. So the next situation you may face with is a Q file. Q file is full. You will get no free queue record message. That may happen if you maybe not have too much output, but you have a lot of teeny tiny jobs going on, and this queue record file like keeps all the entries about all these jobs. So it may happen that it can be full, but updating or expanding that one might be a little bit more tricky, because it has to be one extent. So you cannot just add extents to it. What you really need to do is to define a new bigger file with a new name. So you're defining IGQ file on a new place, new extent, bigger one, but you need to use IJQFOld label to still map the old file, and you need this sys034 extent to make Power know that you expanded it. So during the next IPL, it will realize that you have a new extent, and it will do the magic under the covers to transition your stuff from the old extent to the new one.
Is sys34 required or just some sys number other than one?
No, it is required. It is. Yeah. And yeah. Once you do that, and IPL, oops, I'm sorry. On the IPL, you get a question that you need to confirm a reallocation from the old file to the new file. Once you confirm it, you will be reallocated to the new, bigger file, and you can remove all the old definitions, if you want, or just keep them. And the new display will now show you the new extent for the Q file, which is bigger and have more space. And
Dumb question. If I just leave the IJQ old in there, from IPL to IPL, and only
I think
change it
it's
when I need
not-
to, it won't use it, right?
it will just use a new one, and yeah, that's it. If, yeah, I think so. So, and there could be situation then when your accounting file is full. But normally we just recommend to use, to delete things from that file. Oops, what was that? Yeah, with the here the accountant. Sorry. That it from my side on that topic, we have.
Is there any way to get rid of the D blocks lost message?
Which one?
No,
Something here?
if you lose the D block for some reason because of bad IPL, and you get a message every IPL after that about lost D blocks,
Yep.
I mean, is there any way to get to any of this stuff, any option to get, any of this stuff force lost D block message? You know what I'm trying to say, say it better.
You want to recover the lost D blocks.
Yeah, and get rid and reallocate them back in.
It's called format.
I know, but
Sorry,
you gotta offload and do all that stuff. But,
yeah.
I mean,
Don't have a bad IPL.
it's not the IPL that hurts, it's the shutdown that hurts. It's when you hit the ground.
So I can.
Well, you know, if you lost a lot of D blocks, then it's impacting your storage.
Yeah.
Your spool storage, but.
Well, in this case, I've got a customer that hasn't done a reformat in 3 years. And for 2 years, they've been putting up with like 5 lost D blocks every time they IPL it. And they IPL once a week. So they keep asking me, can we get rid of this? I say, no. Too much trouble.
Yeah.
These are examples of problems that we have had users have experienced. In this case, there's selected member, then everything edited. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. There. No, right again. Got it. There. When you're in ICCF trying to use your primary library, or any library in fact, this often happens when there's an unexpected end of kicks or alter ICCF. At that point, you can there is a protect flag for that member.
Oh.
So you can that flag is update the protect flag for that member, and you can set it back to off by going to the ICCF menu, option 6, the command code, and entering that command /protect member EPRP, which sets the update flag off. There is no associated command to set it on, because you wouldn't need to. But that sets the flag, resets the flag back to 0, so then you can continue to edit it.
We're going to have to grab the ICCF manual again to learn how to use command mode.
Yeah. Well, we do have a customer that was using Zeki from from a third-party vendor, and they encountered this problem where they had invalid or incorrectly assigned catalogues for logical units. That could also happen, obviously, with any third vendor product. The FSU went with them because their products rely on standard assignments, and the FSU, as part of the process, might reassign them to be used. So in that case, you will have to go through and look at all of your JCL procedures and any props that you've got for any permanent assignments that those products rely on, and to take a copy of it and so that you can be restored after the FSU process. And the place to find those standard permanent assignments are in your standard labels. There's one, or the ASIA box, or the POPs for each petition. Power is in there, and then you've got your, these are the vendor assignments of kicks and any other ASIA box or JCL that you may have standard assignments. So check them there first. And wait, we still have more.
Yeah, I'd like to cover that part.
And nothing about this, so here's someone who does.
So yeah, once we faced with an issue, customer reported that this error on the screen regarding FTP, common flash, batch failed, doesn't look nice, and we contact CSI regarding that, and they realized that attach failed because of the system task limit. So be aware that VSE has a limit on the tasks that can be attached. Two numbers to be considered. On this single partition, only 31 subtasks can be running into the same time, and there is another number that represent the maximum number of tasks for the whole VSEn system. That can be defined with sysdef system and task statement. So this one might be a little bit confusing because it can be 255, any number between 256 and 520 or max, which is actually 520. If you ask me why there is still number of 255, I would say that just is for the compatibility with some extremely old ZVSE release, but we still have it, so it's there. So that number controls the the maximum number of attach requests that may be issued by the software.
If you're not up to date, that can break some vendor software. If you don't have them up to date.
Right. So yeah, you probably need to define it as a max to have all the subtasks active, all the possible subtasks active. So just to let you know, even if you say max, it doesn't mean that you can attach 512 subtasks because there are 32 system tasks that are booked for the system use, and there are also partitions, and the number of partitions that you define is subtract from this number that you specify in sys and tasks. And parts. And tasks. So be aware that if you define too many partitions in your system, it means that you will, or your software or the vendor software, won't be able to attach a lot of subtasks because those numbers are in total limited with 512. Just an example here. If you have 255 end task in your definition, and you have default, which is default, yeah, and you also have 120 end parts partition defined in your APL procedure, then it means that only 103 possible subtasks is all that you can get. Your command can help you to identify how often you hit the max this limit, and just in case you notice that the case for your system, you can consider rebalancing that, increasing number of tasks to max, or maybe limiting some of the number of partition that you have.
Is that calculation the same as it was before?
Yeah, it's also. It's just just the issue that we faced, and that's why we're here. And that's basically all.
Thank you.
Okay.